Good morning, guys. Welcome to my replay viewers. Thank you guys so much for jumping in, checking out my broadcast. Sorry I missed you live, but so glad you guys took some time to check it out. What is up to my live crew this morning? Great to see you all this morning. So glad to have you here. I appreciate you guys coming in to hang out with me on this Wednesday morning. Monty, what's up, brother? It's nice to see you, my man. Mel, good morning to you. Glenda, great morning to you. What's up, Tracy and Adam? I see you guys. Brian, good morning to you on YouTube. Barbara, great morning to you. Y'all are amazing, and I appreciate you. We are going to do a fun series this week, guys. Actually, it's going to be a two-part series. It was originally designed to be 3, but I couldn't get live yesterday because I had Wi-Fi trouble. So we're going to pack this into 2 days, today and tomorrow. We're going to talk about sold out. And I'm going to talk to you guys about some key things that you need to know on how to sell out your own signature program. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a few different angles of this. I'm going to talk to you about the customer, I'm going to talk to you about the product, I'm going to talk to you about the packaging, the marketing. I'm going to give you a variety of different ways to angle this, but I'm going to ask you a lot of good questions this week, today, and tomorrow to get you to a point where you can sell out your own signature program. All right, so that is our topic in conversation for today. All you guys that know me, you know who I am, you know how I roll. I would love to have you hit that share button and invite your crew into the broadcast. Get anybody in here that you think may want to hang out with us and take part in this conversation this morning, all right? And then if anybody's brand new, if you have never seen me before, if you have no idea who I am, first of all, welcome. I would love to greet you into the broadcast and say hello. If you want to give me a hashtag first time and let me know if it is the first time you've ever seen me, I would love to say hello, and my crew would love to make you feel welcome. So let me know if it is the first time you've ever joined in with us. Great morning to you, Carice. Good morning to you, Jacqueline. Thanks for coming in, guys. I appreciate you. And then lastly, guys, I very much appreciate every single one of y'all that's checking this out on the replay. Those guys that are on the replay, I would love for you to know that you can comment and interact with this broadcast. I would love for you to give me a hashtag replay. I do see those comments and I do respond to those as well, so I would love to know that you were here, all right? On that note, guys, we're gonna roll because you know I do not waste my time and I choose not to waste yours, so let's jam. All right, y'all, that is who I am. That is what I do. Justin Kaplan Pro is my name. JustinKaplanPro.com is my website. I'm a startup business mentor and a branding strategist that specializes in helping startup entrepreneurs turn your passion, your gifting, your idea into a profitable and sustainable brand that rises up in this challenging digital marketplace to draw in the 21st century consumers that want and need what you have to offer. Guys, I broadcast live every single weekday morning from Tuesday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, hooking you guys up with business building tips, hacks, and principles, anything I can give you to help you grow your business, expand your ministry, bring your vision to life, and grow that brand of yours online in this digital marketplace, all right? Hang tight real quick, y'all. I am going to open up Periscope real quick and drop some folks that are wanting to be a distraction. They're not bothering me, but I don't want them to bother you. So I'm gonna make sure that these folks are out of here. All right, so I got my Periscope broadcast open, and we'll clearly drop some of those that need to be dropped. So those guys that are on Periscope and want to pay attention to this broadcast can do so undistracted. So hang tight for just a second. Let me get myself in here so I can see all my comments, and I'm gonna swap platforms real quick. All right, again today, guys, what we are talking about is we're going to be talking about how to sell out your own signature program. I'm going to break this up into a two-part series. So I'm going to be asking you a series of questions today and a series of questions tomorrow. And we're just going to take you through this process. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do something with you guys. I'm going to be giving away a strategy call to select number of people, a free strategy call to people that do the work on these two broadcasts today, because I'm going to be asking you a series of questions that's going to really force you to do some thinking, and it's going to force you to do some work. So what I want you guys to do is I'm going to challenge you that as you guys do this work, I'm going to give you a series of questions to answer today and a series of questions to answer tomorrow. If you take time put the work in and actually answer these questions and do the work on this, and email me your work so I can see what you're thinking and what you're working on. Email me your work at justincappenpro@gmail.com. I'm not going to say everybody. I will see how many people do it. If you send me your work, I'll see if I only get a few people that send me the work, then I may do a strategy call with every single one of them. But if I get a lot, I may have to draw a couple names. But I'm going to give away 3 strategy calls, 3 free strategy calls to anybody who does the work that I give you today and tomorrow. And when I work you through this, I'm going to take you through and I'm going to help you sort out what your next 90 days needs to look like with your signature program. So if you do the work over today and tomorrow, email me your work. I'm going to help you map out your next 90 days. All right. Good morning to you, Maggie. Thanks for coming in. Glenda. Good morning, Rosetta. Good morning. Appreciate y'all, and y'all are amazing. All right. So let's get to the work. I'm going to start you out with my quote of the day. Actually, I'm going to give you 2 quotes. We're going to kind of hang on these 2 quotes today and tomorrow. So my first quote I'm going to give you is one of mine. It says, people must be willing to recognize that they have a problem before they will be willing to embrace your solution. I'm gonna say that again. People must be willing to recognize that they have a problem before they're going to be willing to embrace your solution. We're gonna talk a little bit about that customer today. No problem, Kim. Thank you and good morning to you. We're gonna talk a little bit about that customer today and some key questions that you need to ask yourself in regards to your customer to make sure that you've got that set up correctly for yourself. And then the next one I'm going to give you is by Albert Einstein that says, if I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on the solution, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask. For once I know the proper question, I can solve the problem in less than 5 minutes. That to me, I love that. I love that quote because that to me is really about what I would refer to as focused effort. A lot of people that create something to sell, they really when people go to create something to sell, what they do is they really kind of rush into the sales process. They rush into creating and selling, just putting something out there, and they don't really take time to think about who it is that they're actually trying to sell to and what those people actually need. So I'm gonna take you through some of these key questions this morning that I think are so crucial for us to answer for ourselves when you're creating and you're planning to sell something, not just through the marketing process. All right. As always, I'll summarize my points for you at the end of the broadcast, but I do challenge you to take your own notes and capture the information that applies to you. All right. Let's dive in. Number 1, the first thing I'm going to tackle, number 1 is interest versus commitment. And what I want to do is I want to ask you a couple of key questions this morning to get yourself to think about what is it going to take to get your consumer past just being interested and get them really willing to being committed to what it is that you're doing. So I'm going to ask you a couple of things that I want you to think about, and think about this. All right, so the first question that I want you to think about in regards to your consumer and what it is that you're selling is I want you to ask yourself, are you offering a prescription for their root problem, or are you simply offering a Band-Aid for their symptom? Are you offering a prescription for their root problem, or are you offering a Band-Aid for their solution? Now, when you think about that, y'all, think about this for a second. I want you to think about whatever it is, whatever the consumer is that you are working with, whatever it is that you're trying to sell. Think about the solution that you're offering, the program that you're selling, the coaching package that you're doing, whatever it is that you're trying to offer to people, and ask yourself, what is it that they are really willing to pay for? Because I think people get stuck with this a lot. People get stuck creating something that people just kind of like, but they don't really go all in to really figure out what's going to stir people up emotionally, what's going to make them really, really want to invest in something. Because there's a difference between want and need. You can get people stuck in a season where they're like, I like that. That's nice. I think that's interesting. But I'm not sure I really need that. And so they won't take that step to move forward and purchase it. So when you think about that for yourself, I want you to ask you, are you offering a prescription for their root problem, something that they're like, I can see that that's something that I really, really need, and I can see that that's going to really help me solve a problem in the long run? Or is your program or service simply going to be viewed as a Band-Aid for their symptom? Hopefully you can see the difference with that. Sherry, great morning to you, all right? So are you offering a prescription for the root problem, or are you offering a Band-Aid for their symptom? Then what you need to ask yourself in regards to whatever it is that you're selling and that client that you're working with, you need to ask yourself, what do you think they would really, really be willing to pay for? what is something that what's some of the help and some of the initial stages that they could possibly take on their own for free? And then what would they really be willing to invest in? What help would they really be willing to invest in? And along with that, when they're going to make an investment in something, make an investment in you, what's the expected return that they're going to want to have? So if someone's going to make an investment in me, when I think about what are they really willing to pay for, what people are most willing to pay for me, and what tends to drive my services up and my fees up is when people are willing to pay for direct step-by-step guidance. Because I offer a lot of teaching for free, right? I teach a lot of stuff for free. I do a lot of live videos in the mornings, and I give you guys a lot of good substance and content that you can take and you can work from. But what people will really pay for from my own angle is people will pay for my help to create and implement. So I know that I can't simply just, and I'll tell you this too, you know, for a while, early on in my business, when I really started taking off on live video and I really started growing an audience of people that were willing to invest in me, I decided that I was getting I'm going to say a little bit of shiny object syndrome, and I started seeing a lot of influencers creating a lot of digital programs, and they were just banking off of having digital programs out there in the market. And I'm like, that would be cool. Wouldn't that be so nice just to create a whole bunch of digital stuff that I can just have out there that just makes money for me, and I can pull back and not having to do so much one-on-one coaching? So for a while, I went all in on creating digital programs. Now, while those digital programs did make me a good chunk of money, it never got me to the point where I could simply just sell that. And I tried it for a short window of time. I kind of pulled back and was trying to let my signature programs become academies that were automated. And what ended up happening is my sales started dropping, because really what people were willing to pay for and what really needed from me was my guidance, my help, my support, my one-on-one interaction. So what the academies were doing without me interjected in them, they were simply a band-aid for their symptom. They were trying to learn how to make money. They were trying to learn how to build a business. So I was giving them information that was simply a band-aid. The root issue was they needed structure, they needed process, they needed guidance, they needed help, they needed wisdom, they needed check-ins, they needed accountability. And I was giving information to help people build a business, but what I've learned over the long time in my business, that I don't just build businesses, I build business owners. And so I had to have that time. I had to have myself interjected into the process, because without me, it was simply a band-aid. Does that make sense? It's very important, y'all. So once you're thinking about your program and whatever it is that you are selling, it's very important to think about, what are you really offering? Are you offering a prescription for someone's root problem? Are you simply offering a band-aid for their symptom? And if all they see it as a band-aid, and they see that this might get me through a short season, but I'm going to probably have to get some more help later, the likelihood of them investing in is slim, right? So that's important to recognize. But again, going back to my quote that I gave you, is people must be able to recognize that they have a problem before they're going to be willing to embrace their solution. So this is a challenge, right? This is a challenge, because what people see and feel and get the most emotional about right now is their current state, right? It's how they feel now. It's what they see now. It's what's in their life now. That's what they think about, right? So what's most evident to them is their symptom. But for them to really probably for you to really probably get them to the point where they're willing to make an investment, you got to get them to be really, really cognizant of their root issues and show them that your solution is not just going to meet them in their immediate symptom. It's going to deal with a root issue and help them in the long run. So this is why it's very important for you to get clear on what exactly it is that you're selling and how your program or service works, because you've got to help them identify first what their root issue is, and then show them that your solution is the perfect fit for what their issue is. All right, so it's challenging. And this is why you can't be surface with marketing. That's why I see so many people, they just, oh, I got an idea. That's a cool idea. Let me create this. Let me go out there and try to sell it. And a lot of them fall flat on their face because they don't take time to really engage the consumer, help the consumer really understand what their problem is, and then show that consumer that this thing that I've created is the perfect fit for the problem that you're wrestling with. All right. So number one is really what it is that you're selling, and we're trying to establish interest versus commitment, because a lot of people will get interested but it takes a bit more strategy and a bit more work to get them to commit to you, okay? The second question we want to figure out is the who. Who is it that we're selling to? And I want to kind of tackle this in 3 different areas: the past, the present, and the future. So, real simply, when you're thinking about your own signature program, ask yourself, who needs this? Just real simple. Like, who is your program defined for? Who did you create this thing for? And can you answer that question clearly and pointedly, where if I asked you, who needs your signature program? Who is the best fit, the best person for the program that you created? If you ask me, Justin, who needs your signature branding package? I want to think of just one person in my mind. I just think one person. You know what? It's someone who has a gift. They have an ability. They have an idea. They're a goal-driven individual, and they want to build a business from that gifting that they have. Just real simple. And I've explained this before. My target audience is goal-driven individuals who have a very specific gifting that serves a very specific type of clientele and wants to build a business from it. That's it. Very simple. Very clear. But I know who that person is. I know who it is that I'm trying to attract. Now, I want to kind of just tackle this from a couple different areas, because this is one of the most challenging things that people struggle with, is the target audience conversation, right? The target audience conversation. And it's so many people overcomplicate the target audience conversation so badly, and it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Just ask yourself real simply, based upon what it is that I'm doing and the gifting that I have, the ability that I have, the idea that I have, who needs what I'm selling? Who's the best candidate for me for this? So for myself, I say I work with goal-driven individuals, and the reason why I say that is because I don't work with people who expect me to work harder than they will. Anybody want to testify to that? Anybody else feel that way about your clients? I will not work harder on your business than you will. So I don't want to work with people that expect me to carry the load and they just want to tag along for the ride. I'm looking for goal-driven individuals, people that have dreams, they have goals, they have a work ethic, they have a commitment, and they have discipline, and they're ready to do the work. I want people that when I show them what to do, show them the steps, show them the way, and give them the guidance, they're going to take what I give them and go apply it. Because I have worked with people where I will give them the guidance and the wisdom and everything, and then they sit on it and they won't do it for whatever reason. So I'm looking for goal-driven individuals, people that are ready to take what I give them and do the work. All right, so that's why I start with that. Goal-driven individuals that have a very specific gifting, that serve a very specific type of clientele, and want to build a business from it. That's it. So if you are goal-driven, you have an idea, a gifting, a talent, an ability, you have a desire to build a business from it, I'm your guy. That's who I serve. That's it. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're married, divorced, single, celibate. I don't care. I don't care what state you live in. I don't care what country you live in. I don't care how much money you make. None of that matters to me. If you are a goal-driven individual that has a very specific gifting that serves a very specific type of clientele, and you have a desire to build a business from it, I'm your guy, and my program will fit you like a glove. Just like that. So now a couple things I want you to think about. So that's high level. I ask yourself, who needs this? You have to simplify that for yourself as clearly and as simply as you can. Who is the ideal person that you want to serve, that needs what you have to offer? Now, I ask you that very pointedly. It's important for you to identify that, because a lot of people don't take time to identify specifically who. Now, I will tell you this. Once you identify specifically and simply who, then I think it's okay to expand a couple different versions of that. All right, and this is how I do it. And this is where people get complicated. They try to come up with all the versions first. Now, just get real simple first. This is who I serve. Then try to give yourself a couple examples of who that person is. So for me, if I'm serving a goal-driven individual that has a very specific gifting that serves a very specific type of clientele and wants to build a business from it, that's my high level. Let's call that my umbrella client. That's everybody that I serve is in that realm. Now let's get a little more specific with some key types of people. So that might be a stay-at-home mom, that maybe she had a career in the past and she gave up her career to be a mom, and now she's staying at home. Her husband's working and she wants to contribute to the household financially. So she has an idea, she has a gift, she has a passion, and she wants to learn how to make money from home. That still fits my umbrella client, we'll call that my umbrella client, but she's a little more specific, so I'm a little more pointed on who I'm talking to. Then I have someone that's maybe it's someone that's, let's say it's in their 50s and they've worked a certain type of job their whole career, and they've had an idea, they have a passion, they have a gift that they want to leverage, and they're realizing that they hate their job, they're not getting any younger, and they're ready to start up their own brand, their own business, and do something on their own. That's different than the stay-at-home mom. There's a little bit of a different mindset, different challenges, different situation, right? Maybe it's a young entrepreneur straight out of college that got a degree and realized that they can't get a job with the degree that they have, but they have an idea, they have a drive, they have a passion, they want to go build a business from it. That young entrepreneur is different than the 50-year-old who's worked 25 or 30 years in the same job, right? It could be maybe a guy that worked in corporate that just lost his job, right? And he wants to start a business. So I could give myself a couple different examples of the types of people that might include, but all of them fit under my umbrella client. Does that make sense? Put a yes in the chat stream if that makes sense this morning. So it's important to identify those variables, because then we want to give ourselves a couple different angles. And again, the reason why I want to pick out a couple different varieties of that consumer is because that's where your content's created from. And we're going to dive into that a little bit tomorrow, but I'm really going to help. I really want you to take time to focus on this piece today and really work on these thoughts, because this is how attraction happens. This is how you create really strategic content. This is where you really set yourself up to draw in exactly the right consumer that wants and needs what you have to offer. All right, so we've simplified who needs it. Now this is where I'm going to ask you, once you give yourself, let's say this, I'm going to give you some specifics. So you've established your umbrella client, all right? Then I want you to come up with 3 different examples. So I gave you 3 different examples of my own: the stay-at-home mom, the 50-year-old that's worked in a job for 30 years and now wants to do their own thing, young entrepreneur, maybe 4. You can do as many as you want. Maybe 3 or 4, let's say 3 or 4. And then the 4th one was someone who lost their job and wants to start a business on their own. So those are 4 different types of people, but they all fit under the same umbrella of the same type of client. So what we want to ask ourselves, again, going back to past, present, and future, what we want to figure out is what has got them, or what will get them to the point where they're going to be ready to hire you. So the first question I want to ask myself is, where are they now? So take each of those individual examples of clients and ask yourself, where are they now? So if I look at the stay-at-home mom that used to work in a career, she's career-driven, she's goal-driven, but she's a stay-at-home mom. Her husband's working. She wants to contribute. She knows she's got monetizable gifts, and she wants to do something with those. So if I ask myself, where is she now? How is she feeling? I'm going to describe how she feels. What's a day in the life of her look like? What is she passionate about? What is she dreaming about? What is she thinking about? What is she frustrated by? What bothers her? What motivates her? What inspires her? Is she feeling suffocated? Is she feeling like has no outlet to exercise her gift? What is it? I just need to figure out, where is she now? All right. Same with the corporate guy. Same with the guy or gal that worked 30 years in their own job. Same with the young entrepreneur. Where are they right now? How are they feeling right now? The second question is, how did they get here? How did they get to the point where they're feeling this way today? What have they been through? What have they accomplished? What struggles have they had? What frustrations have they had? I want to try to give myself a glimpse into their life so I can relate to them and understand how they're feeling and where I can help them based upon how they're feeling. How did they get there? And then the third question is, where do they want to go? What do they want to do? So if I'm thinking of these questions, maybe I'm thinking about that 50-year-old that's worked 30 years in the same job, and they're frustrated, they're overwhelmed, they're beat down. So where are they? They're working a job. It's a job that they tolerate. They don't love it. They feel suffocated by it. They hate their boss. They don't feel like they're making any meaningful impact. It's a day in, day out mundane thing, and it's driving them crazy. And they realize they just crossed over 50, and they're like, "There's got to be something more. I want to do something more. I want to have freedom. I want to have the ability to create. I want to be able to work from home. I want to see I want to be able to spend time with my grandkids and my kids, right? So that's how they're feeling. That's where they are. So then I ask myself, how did they get there? Well, they got there because they were comfortable. They got there because all the people in their life told them that this is what you do. You get a job and you work a job and you stick with the job because that's what good people do. And they never realized that there was possibilities. They never realized that there was options. And now they're starting to see the more and more that the market develops and explodes and unloads, that they're like, I could do something with this thing. They're becoming a little bit more fearless. They're becoming a little bit less reserved. They're realizing that I could actually do something with this idea. Could I really do this? Possibilities are starting to rise up in their minds. Started realizing that I might be possible. This is something I might be able to do. So they're intrigued, they're inspired, but they're a little nervous, they're a little fearful. So that's helping me understand kind of where the frame of mind is that they are. And the last one is, where do they want to go? What do they really want in the long run? What they want, probably more than anything at this point in time, is freedom. They're probably working themselves to death. They're probably working an enormous amount of hours with very little to show for it. There's probably a lot of negativity, maybe affecting their health. What do they want to do? They want to take something that they have, an idea, a gift that they have, and they want to build something from it. They want to be able to have time to work from home. They want to create with their hands and with their mind. They want to help and make a meaningful impact in people's lives. That's where they want to go. So that's just one example for me, but I want to get really clear on that person, because this is what happens. I'll give you a little peek into the future. All right. What happens is, once you take time to really identify that person and you get really, really clear on who it is that really needs what you're selling, what their life looks like, how they got there, what they're motivated by, what they're inspired by, what they're really wanting to accomplish, what they're afraid of, what challenges they have. You really get clear on that person and what it's going to take to get that person over here to invest in this thing. Identifying who that person is the starting point. Because then what happens is, once I know crystal clear who it is that I'm trying to attract, then when I create content and live videos and blogs and resources and freemiums with that person in mind, I create those freemiums specifically for that person, so that I know that when people see what I'm giving away, when people see what I'm offering up, they're attracted to that because they feel like it was written for them. I can't tell you the number of people that been like, Justin, man, your Goal Crusher or your signature offer package or your whatever resource they download, man, I felt like the thing was written for me. I'm like, well, it's because I created it with you in mind. And I'm like, I write and I create thinking about a specific type of person. Be like, what kind of resource can I create to help the stay-at-home mom start a business while she's got a busy household and kids and all the things? What kind of resource can I create for a young entrepreneur to get their brain started, do a brain analysis, and leverage their gift to create their first signature offer? What kind of resource can I create for a professional businessman that just lost his job and is trying to figure out how to shift from corporate to self-employment? What can I help him with? So when I create things, when I create things to lead people to the things that I'm selling, I don't create just global resources and content and training just to try to touch everybody all the time. I go through, I'm going to spend some time focusing on this person. Then I'm going to spend some time kind of honing in on that person and giving them some help. And so everything I'm doing, I'm always thinking about a specific type of clientele that really needs what I have to offer. Does that make sense, y'all? Hopefully I'm giving you some good stuff this morning. So that question number 2 is the who it is that we're selling. We talked about simplifying who they are, where are they now, how do they get there, and where do they want to go, all right? The third piece that I'm going to give you is number 3, and this is going to be the last one I'm going to give you today, is what will make them desire change? What will make them to desire change, to really want to pursue change in their life? And I'm going to give you 2 questions on this one. So the first question is, what physical symptoms are their problems producing? Again, people must be able to recognize that they have a problem before they're going to be willing to embrace your solution. So when you think that I've created this program, I've created this business, I've created this thing to solve a problem that people have, Ask yourself, what physical symptoms are their problems producing? So, and this is root problems. I want to understand what their root is. So the root is maybe they're frustrated with their job. The stay-at-home mom is really feeling like she doesn't have an outlet to use her gift. Maybe the young entrepreneur is scared and fearful because he doesn't know what direction he's going to go. He realizes he can't get a job for the degree that he has. Whatever. So what physical symptoms are these problems producing? These physical symptoms may be causing an enormous amount of stress and anxiety that's affecting their health. Laziness could be a part of it. People that don't feel like they have an outlet to exercise their goals can just withdraw. Depression can fall into that thing. Broken relationships because people are unhappy with what they're dealing with. You can that, of course, that's just me. You can think about your own situation. Just ask yourself, based upon whatever their problem is that you know you can solve, what is physically manifesting in their life based upon their current struggle, and that if you were able to help them with that, it would completely transform. Maybe they're having marriage troubles. Maybe it's health issues. Maybe they're gaining weight. Maybe the stress and the anxiety is causing migraines all the time. Lord knows. Just take some time to identify what's going to make them desire change. What's going to make them desire change is when they realize the impact and the benefit of what this is going to do to their life. For me, the number one thing that I am most motivated by is freedom. Number one for me, freedom. And the primary reason why I started my business when I lost my corporate job is when I started my business, I said, never again am I going to allow a corporation to control my ability to be active and present in my children's lives and be able to provide for my family. I want to have the freedom to do what I want when I want with my kids. Since I've been in business now for almost 6 years now. And in 6 years, I have never missed a birthday party. I have never missed a sporting event. My family vacations, I take them when I want them. I do dad dates with one of my children every week. Personally, take them out and spend time with them one-on-one because I got 4 kids. And when you got 4 kids, it's hard to get one-on-one time. So I do a dad date every single week with every one of my kids. Never missed a dad date because of work. To me, that is what I'm most motivated by. So if I'm talking to me 6 years ago and I'm like, Justin, you have a great career, but it's wrecking your family. It's completely affecting your children. Your wife misses you. Your household needs your attention. There's things that are going on in your house that need your attention. There's things that you need to work on, you need to focus on. We got to work on your spiritual life. We got to work on your mental resolve. We got to work on some of the issues from your past. Those things are all issues. Like if somebody could just talk to me about that back then, 6 years ago, right? But those are all things were manifesting in my life because of my decisions. So I think it's really good if you can figure those out for yourself and take time to think about what these people are dealing with. What symptoms are their problems producing in your life? Because then when you have the opportunity to show them your solution, you can share your solution with them and be like, listen, this is what it's going to do. That thing that you've been dealing with, this is going to help you move past this. This is going to have such an impact on your family. This is going to have such an impact on your marriage. This is going to have such an impact on your health. That's the type of stuff that when people see that, they're like, this is really gonna make me want to do this. This is really gonna help me. All right, the second piece of this, what's gonna make them desire change, is what emotional symptoms are their problems producing. So first question I ask you is what physical symptoms are their problems producing? The second one is what emotional symptoms are their problems producing? How is their problem, their challenge, whatever it is that your service or your program helps them with, how is their problem affecting them emotionally? Maybe spiritually. Maybe it's affecting their mindset. Maybe it's maybe they're depressed, maybe they're super anxious, maybe they're way stressed out. Maybe it's causing insecurity issues. Maybe it's causing low self-esteem, low self-worth. How is that affecting them emotionally? Maybe I think of some of my people do a lot of weight loss, a lot of fitness. And so you know that a lot of these people's problems, like I think about someone who's overweight and needs a health and wellness, needs a fitness solution, and needs to, not necessarily fitness, but just needs a weight loss solution. I think of my girl, Sherry Capella. There's an incredible program called The Seeker's Method, where she helps women lose weight, but she helps women lose weight by connecting to God's Word and through pursuing God's Word. It's an amazing, amazing program. If you want to check out Sherry Capella, she's crazy. You can go to sherrycapella.com if you want to look up Sherry's program. But so I think about Sherry's customer, and so I may be thinking about a woman that's overweight, and that woman, maybe she has tried every diet plan under the sun. She's done Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig, and she's done the paleo diet and the keto diet and the alternate day fasting and all the things, and none of them have ever worked. So all those failures, all those struggles, all those things that they've tried and failed and tried and failed and tried and failed start to affect you emotionally, because there's a common denominator in there. And so they start thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm never going to be able to amount to anything. I'm never going to lose this weight. And then you start to, you can start going down the road. Then it starts affecting their marriage, because then the woman's view of themselves starts having them withdraw from their husband. They start going out less. They start containing themselves in the homes. They don't go out, right? All this rejection and self-worth and what they see in the mirror and all the things, it just starts manifesting all these things emotionally, when really what it boils down to is they just haven't learned the right process. So that particular person may have a lot of stuff going on based upon their past experiences and their past failures. But then if they could just meet Sherry, and Sherry could show them the way, and show them what's possible, and show them testimonials of other people that were there right where you were, and she was there right where you were, and she can show you exactly what steps you need to take to really see some amazing transformation in your life, right? So you're taking time to identify what they're really feeling, what they're really dealing with, and then showing them that there's a way out. Because people, again, have to be willing to recognize that they have a problem before they're going to be willing to embrace your solution. But when they're ready to take a look at your solution, it's got to look like something that they can really swallow. And they got to realize that this can't just be another symptom. Because in that particular example of someone who's tried multiple other diet plans, they're not just going to go jump on the bandwagon and buy in another sort of diet plan. They need to look at, show me something I've never seen before. Teach me something I've never heard before. Show me a solution that I've never been able to consider before. Why will this work for me when everything else hasn't? When you take time to identify those symptoms, it can help you communicate that better. Hopefully that makes sense for you. So, 3 different things I want you to think about. This is just the starting point. We're going to wrap this up tomorrow. So the first one was the what. What is it that you're selling? Are you offering a prescription for their root or a Band-Aid for their symptom? And then you really need to ask yourself, what would someone really be willing to pay for? What's going to make them get past general interest and really be willing to be committed? And honestly, it's a great question to ask yourself. Based upon what they're going to be willing to pay for, is that something that you're willing to offer? Because, I think for myself, I was, for a while, I was trying to go down the road of just creating a whole bunch of automated academies to make me a bunch of money. And I realized, well, people are really willing to pay for most with me as my step-by-step direct help and guidance. And so then you need to ask yourself, do I want to run a business that's driven by one-on-one relationships? Because some people don't. Some people don't want to have one-on-one relationships. They want it all to be automated. So, all right, if you want a business that's all automated and you don't want to have to spend the time doing one-on-ones and check-ins and really truly investing your time into people, if you don't want to have to do that, then you got to think really strongly about, if I want to build a business on automation, what kind of automation and what kind of tools and resources and help really needs to be built into that? And what will people really be willing to pay for? You gotta figure that out. And so based upon what people are really willing to pay for, then you gotta ask yourself, is that something that I'm really willing to offer. Okay? The who, question number 2, was the past, present, and future. Who are we talking about? So who needs what you're offering? Where are they now? How did they get here? And where do they want to go? It's a great process to answer those questions for yourself. And then the third one was, what's going to make them desire change? What physical symptoms are their problems producing? And what emotional problems are their problems producing? All right? That right there, if you take time to answer all those questions thoroughly for yourself, you're doing more prep work than probably 80% of the people that are in the social media market today trying to sell something. Because most people don't take time to really figure that out prior to going into marketing. So tomorrow, we're going to dig in about the marketing, how to actually communicate what you're selling to the people that need it, and talk about how we actually attract them. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that for today. Again, guys, if you want my help in this process, do your work, answer the questions, email that work to me at justincappenpro@gmail.com. You send me that work, I'll review it, I'll give you feedback free of charge. I want to help you along the way. And then after tomorrow, I'm going to pick out some people that send me this work, and I'm going to give away some free strategy calls to really help you figure out, all right, we did all this legwork, what do we do over the next 90 days? How do you take the signature program that you have and really make this thing available for sale? I want to give out some help. I want to get you guys moving, all right? So I'm going to leave you with that for today. Thank you for your time and attention. You guys, I appreciate you. I know 40 minutes of your time is so valuable, so I appreciate you spending your time with me this morning. Get to work, do your thing, have a spectacular day, and I will see you guys all around the web, all right? Take care and God bless.